welcome back to an asset drop unboxing. So we got our next month's one. I feel like I only just got the other one 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
This is the Heroines box. So there's two this month. We've got the Heroines and the Heroes. I will show you the, covered in paint still. I will show you the painted, finally painted model at the end. Claire, put it down.
Sorry.
Just going for it and everything. Right. I'll show you the... I'm sorry I'm covered in paint. As always, I am covered in paint. But we shall unbox this acid drops. This is the Heroines one. I don't know anything about it. I haven't looked on I didn't see any of the ones with boxings or anything.
So it'll be completely
We got this
new.
yesterday, just didn't have a chance to unbox it yesterday. So this is only... What are we on? 6th today?
6th. Yeah.
It came out on Monday, so here we are. So, I'm excited. I love mystery boxes of cool stuff. And last month was a mystery box of cool stuff. So I can only hope. Oh! What have we got? Heroines painting guide. I'm actually going to open that.
Have you got the
Knife. Where are we? Knife. Sorry, I'm beginning to sing because I'm not excited. So I'll give you a knife of opening.
Knifiness.
Do it, Claire. Yes. You keep telling me you can't use it. What have we got? Grass! Grass tufts. We have grass tufts.
We've got some
Haribo. Cool. I was like Haribo.
We've got some... What's that?
This? We have fantasy mushrooms. Oh, fantasy mushrooms. There we go. We have a... You'll find this one. It seems to be like a forest, Moon of Endor type base. Oh, right.
Okay, you've got 3 paints.
3 paints. We have... Oh, I just got one of those safety little. We have Grass Green from Instar, a company I've never used. We have Lime Green. And we have Pine Green. And the model...
It's been quite a big box.
Ooh, what have we got?
Darklands.
I've heard of Darklands. I don't really know much about Darklands. I wouldn't pretend to know anything about Darklands. That looks awesome. I'm really looking forward to painting that.
That looks like elf almost.
Right, so let's find out a little bit more about what we've got. So these are the new style painting guides. We've had one of the non-new style painting guides, but there was a little note saying they would change. I like the fact it doesn't show you the picture on front. It's still then a surprise. That's a good move. And there's a little bit inside. So we have the detail. We have Carrie's Unshawa of Acheron on foot by Mias Miniatures. Mias Miniatures? Mias? We have a 50mm woodland base from Typical Parts. We have a 70 times green tufts, 4mm tufts from Gamers Grass. That's cool. We have 4 resin mushrooms by Serious Play Scenics. And then we have the Instar paints, which are there. So I'll show you those. Because I murdered that name at the beginning and you'll be like, what the hell? That's what I should have said. I don't know what I did say. No one does. So we have the tutorial painting guide here. Painting green cape. So the tutorial for this is for painting the cape. So I'm feeling very wood elfy vibes here with the woodland scenics, and then we've got like the... That's not the woodland scenics as a company.
That's quite heavy. That.
It was heavy. I was quite surprised. I'm finishing your project. So everything's in there. Right. So let's unbox the model. Let's have a look. Oh, staples. Right, one. It was of no consequence. So there was 3 of them. Oh, that awesome got me. So we have a weird looking base, which won't get used. We have some foam, and then we have the resin, which is obviously resin model. Ouch, staple got me on the way out. So we have, here is the model. Let's have a look. The resin looks pretty awesome. Feels right. It feels like normal resin. Don't see anything too bubbly in there. With this funky shield. And we have the cloak in the paint guide, which is there. Sword, leg, and head, all there on that sprue. Funky. We have the base. That is quite heavy. So, you can see the detail on that with
the leaves and stuff, yeah.
It's cool. And let's have a look. The shrooms. There are the shrooms. What the hell are they made from?
I feel.
Like rubber.
Oh, they are, aren't they? How odd.
Seriousplay.co.uk. I wonder if they're rubbery for like, I don't know. I was going to say something else then. I wonder if they're like, for your protection. I was going to say, that's exactly what I was going to say. Couldn't help myself, sorry. I wonder if it's because like getting knocked and stuff so they don't crack, you know, like resin does. But yes.
I've gone all quiet because I'm not saying anything.
Clive's just gone off funny shit. Sorry. I'm deeply sorry. Right, but it is resin, for the feel of it. So all these need washing, as per usual with resin. So we're going to give these a wash in some washing up liquids to get any mould off. Mould release. That's what I was going to say. Mould release off. There we go. I wanted to check that for the agitators. There's no agitators in there. Because the first ones we did had agitators.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to wash this and my mouth out, and we're going to come back and build the model. Okay, so we're back. So what I've done, given these a wash, a bit of a dry, still slightly damp just because some of the water went into the recesses. I'm trying to make sure it's as dry as possible before you glue these on. It's all the same with all resin. Okay, but let's have a look at where things are going to go. So we have the cloak, which obviously goes on the back. I think it's a good idea to put that on first. We have the leg, it's going to go on that. Simples. With the arm, which is there. I wasn't sure how much of that to cut off because I couldn't line it up. I might need to just take a little bit more of that off because the way it's attached to the sprue, part of that is still a bit of sprue by the looks of it. I wasn't sure if it was like a little plug for the arm because there is a little receptacle there. So that's going to go on this arm, shield on the other arm, and then obviously head's going to go there. Brilliant, straightforward enough. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and glue the model together. I won't be putting it on the base yet because I won't be using this base, I'll be using this base to finish the model off. And I won't be putting any of these on, but I have cleaned these up so you can have a better look at the rubber mushrooms. And there we go. So I probably will use one of those on the base, probably not use all four. I'll probably use one of those and probably a little bit of the grass. I've got loads of uses for that. That stuff's brilliant. I do like little clumps of grass, so they're cool. So I shall stick the model up together. I don't see any problems. We'll come back with a finished model. Okay, so we're back. There is, I believe, where the model goes together. I had to look up on the internet how it actually looks because there's a few where that arm could actually possibly go on the head. That's the best way. I think that's the way it's intended. There we go. That is an awesome model, by the way. I've just got to say. I say it about every model, really, but this one really is. It is very cool. She's cool. Can't wait to paint her. Right, but Claire's going to tell you a little bit about.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, it's I think it's basically it's like a medieval after the Roman Empire.
This
I think.
Darklands.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
like
have to have a bit more of a read about it, but they all seem to be split up into areas, and this one is the Welsh area. So I'm now going to murder the Welsh language.
Sorry if you're Welsh.
Yeah,
I've
really
already done
sorry.
that. I've already murdered it.
Well, here we go.
I'm sorry.
The kingdom of Gwynedd is led by Cadwaldir ap Cadwallon, the famous red dragon. He boasted that he would kill every Saeson man, woman and child to reclaim the lands lost to the Brythoniad, and yet he remains an uneasy ally of the Myserna, as his father was before him. For Cadwaldir, as Cawalon did, this is just taking a rip now, recognises the limitations of his people, their limited numbers, and their reliance upon their ancient pacts with the dragons and their kin.
Sounds
And
cool.
so he looks elsewhere for the strength to resist the marauding Northumbria to the east, and the desperation of the Iranian to the west, and the devastation wrought by the Formarach and the Norse beyond them. Other more ancient pacts with the beast of the crags and the coast are remembered, and the strength of the wolf to the east is sought. For strength is something Cadwaldir knows Gwynedd, and indeed all the kingdoms of the Brythoniad need, no matter where that strength comes from, if they are to survive in this age of darkness. Probably just murdered that completely, but it looks an interesting setup kind of thing.
It does, doesn't it?
I'm trying to find out a bit more about it. Let's have a look, see. Okay, so Darklands. It is the year 650, as the Christians note it, and the darkness that has engulfed the world since the Romani betrayed the lands of the north and west only intensifies with each passing year. Established kingdoms and ruthless overlords war with each other as they are raided by murderous pirates, once slaves and Northmen. Of the brooding threat of the ice devils of the sea is matched only by the malevolent power of the inheritors of the ancient realms. In these lands of darkness, only the strongest prevail in a never-ending struggle for survival against bestial horrors. Man both brings to war and creates for itself, and yet for the greatest threat of all is perhaps the nature of man itself.
How profound.
Mm.
But there we go. So that sounds like Darklands. That sounds interesting, actually.
It is actually. It is.
And this model's fantastic. I've just looked at all the detail. One of the things, when I was putting it together, I'm thinking there's so much detail you actually will never see because the cloak covers half of it up.
Have you seen those dudes?
Atlanteans.
Yeah.
Atlanteans.
Atlanteans.
I'm just having Atlanteans flash. That's cool. Let's. I want to have a look at that. I'm going to go and have a look. One thing I did notice while I was close talking about this was a little bit bent. So I'm just going to take some hot water and bend that back. Other than that, she'll be done. I was just sizing up where she's best to go on the base as well, for the little diorama type thing. And I will use one of these sort of mushrooms, and I'll probably definitely use some of this as well. But in a way, it's a shame to use a lot of this, probably maybe in front of the logs and stuff, because that base is actually really nice.
It's very well detailed, actually, that
I'm
base.
going to go away and have a look at their currently. Tabletop art. Yes. I'm going to have a look at that. But there we go. So, that's the end of the video, but as I promised, I will show you off last month's model. So as Claire passes it over to me. And here she is. This was the Survivor model, Savvy Survivor. And yeah, so straight from this side as well. And show you that. So literally with this, if you watched the video, you'll have seen we unboxed the base. I've used the base. I've not done much to the base other than give it some grey paint to make it look like ruins as it is. I put a little bit of rust on the metal parts to make them look a bit more rusty. And then I stuck them all to the base. And on the model, if you have a look, I followed the instructions in the guide for painting the actual overalls that she's wearing, and then the rest of it I just kind of made up. And she's wearing a purple cap because she's a Baltimore Ravens fan. There we go. So I went with turn this into sort of like a hazardous nuclear waste can, and used some of the toxic runoff from the secret weapon fallout just on the back, which I got with the hero kit. When I stuck her on the base, she was looking down, and I was like, I need to put something on the base, and I went through, do I put a rat on the base? She's looking at her body, and with her being a savvy survivor, which was the sort of description, I thought, no, she's going to look at a trap. So then I put the grenade from the sprue that we got onto this little bit of plastic card, and ran a little bit of thread. That is actual thread. I just painted it so it stand out. There's like a tripwire to the grenade, so she's obviously spotted that because she's not falling for it. And I just used one of the little Coke cans from the actual is it the little sprue that we got with all the bullets and stuff on. It was the things that sort of spoke to me the most, really. And there we go. So that is her. Hope you like it. I think it turned out pretty well. And I'm hoping this one turns out just as well. So thank you for watching, basically. So we will also have the Heroes
box
set, which we're going to unbox next. So that'll be the next video that goes up on our site. And join us again for some more of that. And what else we're doing is plenty of Warcry at the moment.
Yes.
Frantically painting Warcry stuff. And I'm also putting a video up of my model that won the store Ever Chosen competition.
Yes.
Not last Saturday, the Saturday before. And that will be going up on the Games Workshop website to be voted for. So if any of you do feel like voting for it, I'm just going to plug it shamelessly now. And thank you in advance. Anyway, please like and subscribe to this video. Join us for the next one. And you guys take care for now.
See you soon.
Bye for now.
Bye.